Welcome! In this video, I'll be walking you through the steps for setting up a wireless network in the UniFi ecosystem using FreeRADIUS for authentication. More specifically, we will be using WPA Enterprise with the goal of issuing our own TLS certificates to connecting clients. What are the advantages of going this route instead of the more common WPA Personal? Well, one of the biggest advantages is that instead of a pre-shared key, each connected client has separate credentials, and you can grant or revoke access on a per-client basis. This is incredibly handy if you are operating a corporate network and an employee leaves the company. No need to change the password for everyone, just revoke that specific user's access. For the example in this video, you are going to need three things: a UniFi network, a FreeRADIUS server, and a tool for generating the certificates. For that last item, I'm going to use one of my own tools, Certy, which I will link in the description below. I'll be setting up Certy and FreeRADIUS on Ubuntu server. The important thing here is that they are both running on a machine inside the network that will always be available. Using the link in the description of this video, open the project page for Certy. If you scroll down a bit, you'll find a section describing how to install the application on Linux. The rest of the video will assume you've completed those steps. Once Certy is up and running, navigate to the home page in the browser using the IP address of the machine hosting it, and using port 8000, the default. Our first step is to create the root certificate, which will form the anchor of trust for our setup. Each certificate you issue for client devices and for the FreeRADIUS server itself will be signed by this one, proving its authenticity. So go ahead and click Create New and give it a descriptive name. In this example, I'll give it the name Nathan's Root CA. There are a lot of fields that can be filled in here, but they are all either optional or already set to a sensible default. The only other required field on this form is the validity duration. Since this is a root certificate, the value chosen will determine when all of its descendants expire as well, so it makes sense to choose a long period of time. Let's choose 10 years and click Submit. Now that we have a root certificate, we can use it to sign other certificates. In most setups, you would want to create an intermediate CA certificate and then use that to create the leaf certificates for each client. For the sake of simplicity in this video, we will sign everything directly with the root certificate. If you scroll down on this page, you'll see that there aren't any child certificates yet. Let's create one for the FreeRADIUS server. Click the Create New button and give the certificate a name like FreeRADIUS server. The other two options that need to be set are the validity, set this to 10 years as well, and make sure server auth is selected. Now we need to set up FreeRADIUS. Begin by installing the base package. Next, we will need to copy the following files to the server: the root certificate, the certificate we created for the FreeRADIUS server, the private key that accompanies the certificate. To get each of these files, navigate back to the page for the root certificate and click the Certificate (PEM) button under the Export section. Next, scroll down to the child certificates and click on the FreeRADIUS server certificate. Click on the same button and then also Private Key to obtain both of these files. Assuming you copied these files to /TLS, the next step is to open the configuration file for the EAP module in FreeRADIUS. There are a lot of options in this file, but only a handful need to be set for our use case. I'll clear the file contents and paste the following configuration, which points FreeRADIUS to the three files that were copied. One more configuration change is required. A client needs to be added for the device running the UniFi network application. Open the clients.conf file and add the following to the bottom. Notice that the client section specifies a secret, which will be needed later. Now save the file and restart the FreeRADIUS server. Now FreeRADIUS is set up and ready to go. The only step that remains is to open UniFi Network and configure the server. After logging in, select Settings and scroll down to the Radius section. Click Create New and enter a descriptive name for the profile. I'll use FreeRADIUS. This form is also where we specify the IP address and the secret from setting up the client in FreeRADIUS. Once that information is entered, click Add to add the server, and then Add again to finish setting up the Radius profile. Finally, open the configuration page for your Wi-Fi network. I'll be creating a new one in this example, and enable Advanced Mode. Scroll down to Security Protocol and select WPA2 Enterprise, and then select the FreeRADIUS profile from the previous step. And that completes setup for the network. In the next video, I will go over the process of configuring clients to connect to the network. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.